Thinking Fast and Slow. By Daniel Kahneman. Summary. This highly regarded work of popular psychology explores the cognitive systems that control our actions and beliefs in order to aid in better decision-making and increase awareness of oneself and others. Nothing in life is as significant as you may believe it to be at the time. Why do we automatically trust some people more than others even when there is no prior reason to do so? What unintentional biases influence our worldviews and presumptions? Daniel Kahneman is a Princeton University professor of psychology and a Nobel Prize winning economist, author, and psychologist. Insight into how we think, act, and live is provided by his book Thinking Fast and Slow, which focuses on how our minds function through both automatic and systematic thought. This book contains additional information regarding Kahneman's thorough investigation of decision-making, uncertainty, and behavioral economics. There are two different thought systems that control our actions. Although we see our ideas as a single stream, our thought, decision-making, and action processes are actually carried out by two simultaneous cognitive systems. Fast thinking is produced by System 1 and is automatic, intuitive, and emotional. This technology would automatically determine how far away an object was from another if it were to be perceived. System 2 results in deliberate, analytical, and rationally driven sluggish thinking. System 2 would try to find a solution to park in the constrained space if you were trying to park your automobile after System 1 had calculated the distances between your car and the one parked behind it. Although it seems mystical to us, expert intuition is not supernatural. Every day, everyone demonstrates intuitive prowess numerous times. Associative System 1 thinking is in charge of our perceptions and deft reasoning. The emotions created here then immediately influence System 2's meticulous and logical approach. System 1 assesses our current world by drawing connections between it and what is remembered. Our beliefs and the basis for our decisions are then built using this memory function. Patterns are put together automatically by System 1. In order to understand a situation, System 2 organizes these patterns. A set of primarily unconscious biases that we have developed throughout our lives form the foundation of intuition. System 2 is more resistive, but System 1 has a tendency toward cognitive bias. System 1 has been vital to our evolutionary history because it has allowed us to make decisions swiftly in life-threatening situations, despite the fact that prejudice may cause us to think of it as inferior. System 1 frequently assists us in moving quickly when there isn't enough time to consider carefully. System 1 is the covert author of many of the decisions and judgments you make, despite the fact that System 2 thinks it is where the action is. The use of memory and narrative sense-making shapes our worldview. The development of fast, immediate perception and recognition is a requirement for System 1. This is how associative pattern recognition, such as the ability to interpret body language and social cues, develops. Where System 1 is automatic, System 2 is typically in rest mode and is only activated when it is required to utilize concentration in order to solve a particular problem. Becoming aware of these belief systems in others enables us to become aware of them in ourselves. The majority of the time, we make decisions based on prejudices and presumptions that we are unconscious of, and it is simpler to recognize other people's errors than our own. Confirmation bias results from the associative memory of System 1, which causes us to make judgments based on perception rather than logic. The halo effect is a typical cognitive bias in which we base our opinion of someone on our sentiments for them rather than unbiased information about their character. We are more likely to automatically judge someone as knowledgeable and reliable if we react favorably to their appearance. The phrase "the narrative fallacy" is used in psychology to describe how our inaccurate memories of the past turn into stories that influence our thinking. Humans have a natural urge to make sense of the world, yet this need is frequently governed by our emotions. The quality of the story people can create about what they see, even if they don't see much, largely determines how confident they are in their ideas. In an effort to conserve energy, our brains will strive to reach a choice as quickly as possible, even if doing so increases the likelihood that the decision will be poor. System 2 is called into action to address problems that System 1 is unable to solve. However, employing System 2 demands more work and can leave us feeling mentally weary. System 1 often assumes control when it is inappropriate because our brains occasionally think that issues are easier than they actually are. Don't allow feelings to influence your choices. Emotions have a tendency to blur your judgment, but you must resist this. Analyze situations from a distance. Make the greatest choice for you by weighing the advantages and disadvantages and using your reasoning, particularly when money is involved. This is true. Our two cognitive processes result in two intertwined selves. It takes effort to change one's mind about human nature and even more effort to change one's thinking negatively about oneself. We all have two distinct selves. According to Daniel Kahneman, the remembering self, which is oriented toward System 1, shapes and selects the memories that the experiencing self uses as a resource. The experiencing self, which aligns with System 2, is the other and weighs information from the past and present before making a choice. We cannot precisely rely on the past to guide our present decisions since the memory of the remembering self is not always exact or objective. We must implement thinking processes based on a combination of rational intuition and reason, influenced by logic and statistical evidence. The only measure of rationality is not whether a person's views and desires are reasonable, but whether they are internally consistent. By connecting events, emotions, and results, our intuition makes an effort to normalize the world around us. Together, these shape our responses and expectations while also defining who we are as a person. By basing our decisions on our feelings and emotions, which Kahneman refers to as the affect heuristic, we, in our thoughts, make life easier. Although when facts or statistics concerning human behavior may be given to us, this does not indicate that we must necessarily analyze or modify our previous notions. Learning information does not automatically result in a change in our perception of either the world or of ourselves. Long-held ideas or beliefs based on personal experience cannot be changed, not even with the most persuasive causal statistics. Have an open mind to fresh concepts. It can be difficult for us to alter our opinions on important topics or how we perceive the world, but it's crucial to have an open mind. Consider what others have to say, acquire information, and make an effort to form an unbiased opinion. The frameworks Kahneman developed for his fast and slow ways of thinking can be used outside the field of psychology. They provide insight into our own biases, presumptions, and behavioral habits. We may modify the way we think and live more consciously by being more cognizant of the cognitive systems that are functioning within us.